I called this morning. Successful scouting mission. Covered a lot of ground. So a lot of that stuff that I've been pouring over the maps for quite a while now, a couple of years probably, been looking at the maps, waiting to come out here and actually look at this place. And I found some good terrain funnels, found some areas that were just so overgrown you could hardly walk through them. Found some other areas that were open. Those are the kind of things that are really tough to tell just by looking at a map. Just to be able to see things in that kind of minute detail. And so if I come back here during the rut, I have a couple pretty good potential stand setup spots, and even found one place where there was a little, ditch kind of creek drainage, and there was a really well worn down trail crossing it in one particular spot. Had rubs on each side, beds not too far away, so it's definitely a spot that has potential. Alright, well, afternoon 2. Just had about 12 side-by-sides fly past as I was getting ready. Looks like some of these far-off fields are definitely getting picked, but I don't think this place that I'm about to go into has been touched. I'd be surprised if it was. And so there's a little CRP field back there with some hidden corners, and it drops off quickly behind it with a bunch of little fingered ravines and stuff. So my plan is to basically get back in there, start walking that edge line because it's pretty thick in the woods, and see what I see for sign. If it looks promising, I'll go ahead and set up on kind of the first good corner right where we have a kind of a fingered draw coming up into that corner. And if it doesn't look super great, then I'll just work my way down and just look for that high sign. And sure enough, like the only hunter vehicle that I've seen so far on this trip was parked right there on the edge of that CRP field. So it's impossible to tell exactly where he's at. Couldn't see him posted up on the edge of the field from where I was standing. So there's really not enough time in the day to be able to back out and drive to one of these other public spots. So really, at this point, my best bet is to basically jump in by where the truck is parked. So I'll just drop down and try and see what the thermals are doing, look for sign, and just try and make the best that I can out of it at this point. It's not exactly where I wanted to go, but most likely if that other place has been getting hit, that's probably not where I want to be either. Man, I really wish I knew that guy was going to be hunting here, because this is just like ridiculous. It's so thick in here. If it doesn't open up by the time this flat comes to a crest and drops down into the ravine, there's not going to be much point in hunting it. There's no deer walking through this stuff. There's probably 20 places I could have drove to and parked and hunted tonight, and this one seemed like the best bet. Already dropped Shane off about 35 minutes the other way, so by the time I got here now, it's like, I guess I'll just I'll keep moving through this stuff, and if it doesn't get any better, then I have no choice, I guess, but to back out and try and go somewhere else. And I don't know, not really sure what to do at this point. I tried bushwhacking through that stuff, and there's just no way. I was fighting so hard to get through it. It must have gotten burned or clear cut or something a while back, because it is just thick, and I could not see an area looking ahead where it looked like it started to open up at all. And the deer didn't have trails cut through it either, so as much time as I wasted there, I still felt like it wasn't worth wasting a hunt there, basically. So now I'm back on the road again. There's another place that is maybe 5 miles away, and we're already running low on time. all things considered, it's not a terrible spot. There's at least some deer sign on the edge of the field. There's a woodlot behind me, which is private, and behind that woodlot there's some alfalfa that's still green. So it's possible that these deer could get up, move across that open field, through that woodlot, and eventually make it to the alfalfa. But this could likely be where they could potentially be bedding along this hillside. I'm about to get down from the stand, and Shane texted that he shot that buck that we saw on the side of the road that first night we were driving around glassing. So I'm gonna get all my stuff put together and we'll go help track and drag his buck. Pretty exciting.
Yeah, I saw 10 deer total throughout the evening, so it's definitely a good spot. And 3 longbeards. He come from across the road. He must have saw those other deer in the field. He come running to join them. And right when he was going in the woods, I grunted as loud as I could twice. And he bounded in the woods and turned around right back and come running across the field. And he stopped at 30 yards and took my time, and I put what I think was a pretty good shot, but we'll see. You know, he went down in the field and then he got up. He was real wobbly. You could see the blood pouring out of the exit one side. I'd say last rib, like right here, exit. Entry was probably like right there, just a few inches back behind the leg. I'm pretty sure it got one lung, maybe the back of the other one, and maybe nicked the liver. We'll look at the blood and see if there's any dark blood. The blood on the arrow looks good, so he may be laying dead just inside the woods there. This is what they were feeding on, all these little blooms. They were just out here. They were tearing it up. I mean, it wasn't like they were out here just nibbling going across the field. They were out here like cattle grazing. And that's all. You can see the tops of them nipped off. All these tops. I mean, the blood looks good. I don't see like any bubbles in it, but it smells like meat. Would you smell it? It smells like deer meat, which doesn't always smell real good anyway. Does it have a little stinky smell to it?
Maybe a tiny bit, yeah.
So you might have got on the way out, maybe?
Yeah, the liver or something back there. I don't see any gut-looking stuff.
No.
I'm gonna mark this is the impact spot.
Yeah, you got blood here.
Oh yeah.
Bright red blood.
There's some bubbles.
Yeah, there's bubbles in it.
So, yeah, there's some here. Now, look at that.
Yep. Mark it with some paper.
Yep.
Yeah, I got blood up here.
Okay.
Looks like he stopped here. Whole bunch of blood.
Oh wow. What's that in the blood, or is that just? That's not like food. Oh, there's a.
It is.
To your left. Look right here.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you got some. There's some matter in that.
Coughed it up, maybe.
I'd hate to push him, but at the same time,
It's warm.
two lungs and liver. It's a pretty lethal shot.
Yeah, sometimes liver can take 6 hours. It looks like he took.
Right up through here.
You see blood up there?
Yeah,
Oh,
there's,
yeah, I see it.
there's blood up there.
Just kind of scan your light around and see if you can see him from here. Look up here.
It looks the same.
He's walking, he's bleeding well. I mean, that to me that doesn't look like liver blood.
It looks like lung blood to me. You got
It's too bright.
You got real high blood right here. Looks like he may have bedded down right here.
He laid down. There's the entry side bleeding. There's the exit. See how much darker that is than that?
Mm-hmm.
Tracking experience right now is telling me to back out. I know it's a difficult decision, but especially for me. But we come up on a bed right now, and if someone I was tracking for told me they came up on a bed and they continued tracking, I'd be calling them, well, I wouldn't call them stupid. I'd say it was a stupid move, and it'd be a stupid move for us to continue tracking. I think we definitely got lung. You can see where it bedded right here on the ground. It's got liver blood off one side. Doesn't mean it didn't get the lung on the other side, the back of it. And you can see the what looks like really high oxygenated blood coming out the other side. Then you got a little spot where it coughed up blood. So he's bleeding out both sides good, and he's coughing up blood. You agree?
Yeah, I think
Camp
we should back off for a little bit. I don't want to give him the whole night because the coyotes are.
Yeah, pretty bad out here. I mean, I could hear him howling earlier that way. Who knows, a coyote come in here and jumped him up, not us. A liver shot, you need to give it at least 6 hours. It's been, typically 4 to 6 hours, depending on what else was hit. I'm confident that if he's not dead now, he's going to be very soon. So we go back to camp and give it at least 2 hours, and then by the time we get back out here, we'll be pushing that 5-hour frame, and so he should be done by then.